In this video, I'm going to show you how I built a new cabinet for my radial arm saw. This is a very heavy-duty cabinet made from Douglas Fir 2x4's, and it's all half-lap construction. So if you're interested in seeing how I built this, stick around. So the first step is to turn these 14 2x4's into this. Keep forgetting to turn this thing on. So now I have to joint two faces on each board and then run them through the thickness planer to make them the same thickness, and then run them through the table saw to make them the same width. So I'm shooting for 1.25 inches thick and 3 inches wide, and that's the dimension of almost all of the pieces. So time to work on that. So I've got all the material planed to the proper thickness, and I just finished ripping them all to the proper width. Now I have to cut them to the proper length, and that's what I'm going to do now. And here we go. All the pieces are finely dimensioned. It took a whole lot longer than I thought it was going to, but got all the pieces cut to their final size, and now I just have to use the radial arm saw to start cutting all of the half laps that I'm going to use to assemble this. So I've got one of the first pieces already laid out, and now to start the second long process of cutting all these half laps out. So I've got 8 of these to cut, and I'm going to cut a half lap on both sides of the same face on 8 of these. So I've set up a stop block so that I'll just batch them all out. Now I'm going to cut out the half laps for the main uprights. I already cut the tops while I was cutting the half laps on all the other pieces. Now I have to hog out all of these. I'm not going to use any jig for this because with the pencil line and the way the radial arm saw is set up, I know that if I put the pencil line right at that cut line, it's going to cut perfectly there. Okay, so these pieces are going to be the bottom. I'm going to lay them all out because I need to mark for where the uprights are going to meet. So I still need to make a couple of cuts. So the uprights are going to fit in the corners. So I have to make a notch in each of the 4 corners to receive this. Now the side rails, they're not only are they structural to keep the thing from racking, but I'm also going to be cutting a 3/8 inch groove along each one of these to support the bottom of a drawer. Okay, I just ran the test piece through and it's centered and the perfect height. So now I'm going to run 4 of these long boards through, and those will be for the drawers. reason I put it up on blocks is because I figured there'd be some slight variations, and I was right. So if I had it flat on a table when I was securing this one here wouldn't have gotten nice and tight, because this is actually, the half flap was off by just a hair. So this would have prevented it from getting nice and tight over there. These notches are for the back support, so I have to make sure that it's a matching pair. Alright, I'm going to pull this off the edge a little bit so that, again, if I messed up the half laps, the seam will still be tight. New stand.
For what?
So I set up a stop block on my drill press, and I'm going to just drill all of the countersinks for the top pieces. And then I'll come back and drill the through holes after. So now I've got this one screwed on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back all these off, and then I'm going to lay a bead of glue, butt it up, drill it, screw it down, and then continue the process. So it turns out I have a bit of a design flaw here. I can't raise the radial arm saw up high enough to be able to use it because my lumber rack is too low now. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know. I'd hate to lose a whole nother section of the lumber rack, but I can't think of any other way to resolve this right now. I still have to build a new table for the radial arm saw with some fold-out wings on it, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, so that will be a later video. Ew, I stuck my finger in a pitch pocket.